We all know that this is a lie, right? For decades, we've been hearing about how Baby has made it part of his business's organizational structure to never pay anybody. This week on Hip Hop Stocks, where we use the music we love to explain the stock market. This week, music is down as we continue with our natural pullback. Like I said last week, there's a good chance that the stock market can fall back to Saweetie levels, and the releases last week are beginning to confirm this. Headlined by Lil Nas X, a piece of music marred by promotional stunts and unethical practices that no matter how good it could have been, it was going to be dead on arrival. Did you guys see that it got downgraded in its opening projections, and Lil Nas X couldn't beat out Drake for the top Billboard slot after Certified Lover Boy came out weeks ago? That's not a good sign for the long-term viability of this stock. Don't be surprised if record labels begin to short this stock as well. There's a chance that a failure here will mean no more promotion of this caliber for future projects, and he will need to pay off this L with all future albums, putting him into the cycle that many other acts never got themselves out of. Besides that, Rittz SOS album arrived, and I was excited for this, but it was far from the quality that I've come to expect. When the CEO announced that this stock would split down and release more material due to the ownership going independent, I had my worries. And this project is my first example of why. Still release some solid material for the portfolio, but this one is one that you need to keep an eye on because it's trending in the wrong direction. And later in the week, we got a surprise from J. Cole, Heaven's EP. A statement that he isn't finished releasing music this year, and a reminder that he still has the best project to date in mainstream. Yes, I'm all but ready to crown the offseason as the album of the year, seeing how this year has played out thus far. And yes, Kendrick will have his opportunity to respond, but as we see it today, J. Cole is the prohibitive favorite, and songs like Heaven's EP is just fortifying his position. It's a must for every portfolio. But let's go ahead and look at some of the biggest trending stocks for this week. T.I is up. Vindication from vocalized venomous vernacular. So recently, T.I and Tiny sexual assault charges were dropped from court due to statutes of limitations. See, the alleged crimes for this case happened in Los Angeles in 2005. The statute for limitations for this crime is 10 years. So therefore, this is like 5 years too late. So unless they were going to go ahead and change all the rules like they did Cosby, which they not gonna do for you, there was really no case to be had here. I'm not saying the allegations are false, as we've all heard the stories by this point. The alleged recruiting, drugging, and assaults have become something of folklore when you ask anyone living in that Atlanta culture. But let me ask you a serious question. Why are you at T.I and Tiny's parties at all kinds of nights if that isn't what you want? I heard about these stories, and I don't live in Atlanta. Then anyone considering to go to any event that they hold have had to hold it by now too. Again, I'm not taking the seriousness of these allegations lightly, but have you followed Brittany Renner and many of the things that she said and done? She stalked and groomed PJ Washington from college so she can get a check, and is now willing to pawn off her child to the first man she meets. This is the type of woman that a lot of this generation are looking up to for advice and giving excuses towards her actions. So first of all, you ladies need to make better decisions on where you go and the life that you're attempting to live. Second, if you've been assaulted, then you need to quit procrastinating and file your paperwork immediately. If you didn't, it sounds like buyer's remorse because things didn't turn out the way that you wanted. So what does this mean for this stock? Not a lot, because the damage to T.I.'s image has already been done. Do you think Disney is going to rehire him to Ant-Man series because this case was dismissed? Nope. They never went back to Terrence Howard now, did they? Social media has a way of making you guilty from the public's perspective, even if you were never charged or actually guilty. So even as T.I has earned having his name clean here, the lifestyle that he has led is going to continue to follow him. At this stage of his career, I'm not buying any shares of this stock that I was once an investor in when it was a startup. Even though the FM track was pretty hot, still not buying back into this stock. Birdman is down as he attempts to tell people how much money he pays his artists. Reminds me of Fat Joe and all the pleas he's been copying with Big Pun's family. So in a recent interview, Birdman said that when Universal paid him a bag, he could honestly say that Lil Wayne got 400 million of it, Drake got 500 million of it, and Nicki Minaj got 350 million of it. So even in his fantasies, he pays women less than what they deserve, I see. We all know that this is a lie, right? For decades, we've been hearing about how Baby has made it part of his business's organizational structure to never pay anybody. Instructing people, if you want the money from him, then you just got to sue him. We've heard this from Gilly the Kid, Lil Wayne, producer DVLP, all of the hot boys, Manny Fresh, Bangladesh, Tiger, and more. Many more. And now you want to come out and talk about how much money you've been paying people? Why is Baby telling us these lies when anyone with an elementary school education can see through this? When you look at Cash Money's new artist roster, it doesn't portray excellence now, does it? Headlined by Blueface, who seems to have more respect as a boxer than a musician, and underachiever Glock 9. This label have had generations of dominant musicians who've paved musical landmarks, but yet it's seeming like it's struggling to reload its talent. See, when jobs are struggling to be filled, these corporations go on promotional campaigns speaking about how good it is to work for them. This is the same thing, and only a fool would take it for face value, when the reality is, if you sign to Cash Money Records, then you are desperate and you have no better options. Therefore, the people who actually acknowledge that they have something of value prefer not to do business with Cash Money. See, this is a death sentence for a business that relies on talent. How long do you think the Lakers would survive if their checks to LeBron, AD, Kobe Bryant, and Shaq were bouncing? But how are we playing this stock? We aren't buying any of this stock, and it's a shame. This should be a legacy brand that demands respect, but instead it was run like a short-term con that the CEO couldn't see the long-term value in.